Hello there. Welcome to the Amma Manson Show. So, hopefully, you are not a stranger here. But what goes on here is education, definitely some empowerment. We add humor, information, and just a good vibe generally. It is not just a talk show, it's a live show. We talk about life, we unpick life, we find solutions to the things that stress us in life, and we make progress together. It is the Amma Manson Show, and my name is Amma, your girl, your educator, your motivator, and I kick your hind wherever we need to. Enjoy, invite other people to join in, and hopefully, you have a wonderful experience on today's show. Let's get straight into things. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. And could you please share the feed for me? Hi, Imam. It's good to see you. I have got some guests on the show. I will introduce the guests in a minute. I'll explain a little bit about the guests and I'll get them to explain what they do to you themselves, because I think what they do is amazing. Those of you who have been watching me for a while, you know I like to do these spot interviews with the amazing people we have in our community. We have an awareness creation video to do today. And so please invite everybody you know, ask people to join in. You never know who would be able to learn from this. I will let the gentlemen introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their organization. So, hello, gentlemen. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Could you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us your names, about the organization, and just a brief description of what it is you do.
All right. Thank you. I'm Patrick Suman, and I'm the Executive Director of Recommence Foundation. And Recommence Foundation is a non-government organization in Ghana advocating and supporting the surgical operations and the well-being of persons living with hydrocephalus in Ghana. So it is the only organization in Ghana that seek to take care of persons living with hydrocephalus. So that's what we do. And I have with me my colleague, and I think he will also introduce himself.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm also Upon James, and the Executive Assistant of Recommence Foundation. As Patrick said earlier on, we advocate and also create awareness about hydrocephalus, and we are the only foundation in Ghana to do this. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is interesting. I mean, hydrocephalus is actually a very big word. It's one a lot of people are aware of, but most people don't recognize it as what it is. Just so we bring the audience into play here. What is hydrocephalus? And why is it a problem? What is it?
Okay, thank you. Hydrocephalus. The word hydro, I want to take it from the side. The word hydro is from a Greek word. That is the two words, that the hydrocephalus from a Greek word. So we have hydro, which means water. And we all know from our basic school science that water in science we call it hydro. Then the cephalus stands for head. So in literal translation, we will say hydrocephalus is water in the head. But this is not a normal water that we drink, but this is a water that in science we call it the cerebrospinal fluid, in short, the CSF. Now, what happened that causes the hydrocephalus is this. There is an accumulation of this water in the head or in the brain of a human being or person. So when there is an accumulation, the head tends to expand, especially in children when the frontal is not closed. So when the accumulation happens, then the head expand or grows steadily big, then we say the child is suffering from hydrocephalus. Now, you ask why the condition is a problem. It's a problem because this condition causes a lot of damage to the brain cells, or causes the brain problem to the brain, in a sense that when a child is being diagnosed with the condition, the child tends to have what we call low IQ. So the IQ of the child goes down. The child will experience what we call delay milestone, as to a normal child to grow at a certain growing speed or space. That particular child, diagnosed with the condition wouldn't be able to have such growing process, and the child will have what we call dementia. And then the child also experience what we call inconsistency in bladder control or urinary. So these are all problems that comes upon the child when the child is being diagnosed with this condition. So it's a big problem that needs attention, or that we need to look up to.
Okay. So for those of you who might not know, I would want to digress a little bit into the vernacular lingua, because I think a lot of you will probably know what it is in your languages much better than it is in English. So hydrocephalus is a funny word, but in Akan, it's asram. I
Sure.
think a lot of people do know asram. It's those kids you see who seem to have a slightly different head. No, it's not the same as the Down syndrome kids. But let me come back to you, and can you tell me what asram actually looks like? When a child has it, what does it look like?
Okay. Asram. Yaka asrama. And it's a akwanu niti ayekesi. Iti ebia omame obewo akwada ewo hospital. Obewo no na niti ayekesi bo ayetimi hu ye funu no mu. Ebi nso wo ho a ye de akwada ne bebe fie. Ye de ne be fie a be na wotwe ana bosome echi no. Obewo se oba no niti de enyini ana se eyekese beyond the normal stage na akwa no de edu no. Iti ono sa no na nsuo bi a adwene ne fa baby e produce na se nsuo nso ebo adwene no ho ban na e ma ya adwene no kura mu ya ha e we etu se nsuo nso na adwe nnuano nutrient from the blood to the brain. Inti se nsuo no bibi ekochima in the production of nsuo no and the absorbance of that fluid into our system na afi ama akwada no iti abeye kese nti se de ye hu screen ni so no papa no ekura akwada owo sa condition nti hu se sa na asram no etie iti ye ba etwi kasem ne ye kasa asram no ene ye hu ewo ye screen ni so ewo ho.
Okay. Viewer discretion, I had to give you a disclaimer. It's uncomfortable for some people. And I have to say, though, when we discuss these conditions, it's always emotional, because a lot of people have a family member, or you do know somebody who suffered it. A lot of you may have had children yourselves who have it. And it's a very, very difficult thing for families to suffer. Mr. Opon, let me come to you briefly for a bit. So if a family have a child who is hydrocephalus, what does that actually mean for this family on a day-to-day? How does it affect the family? What's the effect of the family?
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Hydrocephalus brings a lot of effects to the child, the family, and also the child's parents, in the sense that when hydrocephalus is being diagnosed or at the site when hydrocephalus is seen when a child is giving birth to, or even when a child actually develops after birth, the effects that it brings to the child is that the child will not actually develop well. When I say the child will not actually develop well, the child will have what we call cognitive impairment. The child will also experience imbalance in walking. The child will experience developmental disabilities, such as the child wouldn't be able to walk, the child wouldn't be able to learn as his or her peers will do. So when we look at hydrocephalus, the one major effect it brings on the family, and I would want to quote that hydrocephalus is actually a condition that in our part of the country, that's in Ghana, it doesn't affect the rich. It actually affects those who are middle income or the poor. So we tend to see that these parents or these people are not being able to cater for their child and also even afford daily meals for the child. So one actual effect, or one effect that it brings on the parents, is that one, it brings discrimination, stigmatization, it makes them feel very sad, depressed, stressed. And we also come to see that when they have a child with such a condition, they tend to actually look down upon themselves. So it leads to lots of issues that they are not even able to come out. We interviewed one girl, and the girl told us she's not being able to take her daughter or the child out. And we asked her why. She said she can't face the discrimination and the stigmatization attached to this condition. So she only takes the child out in the evening or in the morning when everybody is asleep. That's when the child is being taken out. So one effect that it brings to the family or the parents is that the child experiences discrimination, which in our part of the country we are actually trying to take out of the amount of people. When you come to the community itself, we tend to see that very particular family as being the community as being a community where there are a lot of riches. That's what has been actually attached to the hydrocephalus condition. So when we look at hydrocephalus in our part of the world, it actually brings stigmatization, discrimination to the child, the family, and also the community in which the child lives. Thank you.
That's very interesting. I mean, you said something I want to explore. So you said
Okay.
something about this affecting poor people more than it affects rich people,
Yeah.
middle income and lower income people. Why is that? Why does it not affect rich people?
Um, what we have actually come to realize is those who are rich or those who are middle income people, they are actually being able to cater for their child when the child has that condition. So when the condition is being diagnosed or set up as early as possible, they are actually being able to cater for the child in terms of surgery, in terms of the medical aspect. But when you look at the poor people, they are not being able. So the child hair tends to grow bigger and bigger and bigger as we see in the picture. So what I can say and what we have actually realized is that those who are rich are being able to cater for their child as early as possible as they can. But those who are poor are not being able.
So this is a treatable disease, is it?
Yeah, it's treatable and manageable also.
Explain. How do you treat and manage it?
Okay, thank you very much. This is how the condition is. As he has been able to explain, the treatment for this condition is surgical and then rehabilitation. It is that the child needs to be undergo surgical operation, and then after the surgical operation, due to the effect that are brought to the brain, some aspect of the body also be affected. So the child also needs to undergo surgical rehabilitation treatment to be able to be fixed into the society. But the treatment effectiveness depend on what age that the child um, um, was taken care of, or on what age the treatment was given to the child. That would determine the effectiveness of the treatment or the surgery. And at times, to the extent of the condition also would determine the effectiveness of the treatment, that's the surgery. So for instance, if we diagnose a child with a condition at the early stage, where if let's say the condition was like the child came out with, or the condition that the child came out with, then the surgery can be done for the child without spots. Maybe a week after the delivery, the child is capable of having a very effective treatment, and the child will respond to it very well. But when it happens that it delays for 2 years before a treatment is given to the child, because the fluid, as long the fluid be in the ventricles of the brain, it causes a lot of damage to the brain cells. So at that stage, there has already been a problem instituted. So when the surgery is conducted, yes, so it eases off the pressure that brings onto the brain, but there will be some disability in the child. And after that, the child also needs to undergo rehabilitation training, like the physiotherapy training or therapy, and then the speech language training and other occupational therapies. The child needs to undergo this in order to have function and to live a normal and independent life. But this condition, as long as the child lives, this child continue to be on surgery throughout his whole life. Because if we are to do a VP shunt procedure surgery for the child, at any point in time when there is a blockage in the VP shunt, there should be a surgery to be done to correct the blockage. And this there can also be an infection that can set in. So when a child have a condition with that, as long as the child lives, the child will undergo surgery. So the appointed time come for him or her to pass on. So that's about the treatment aspect.
That makes sense. Yes, Ohinewa, it's the reason why the poor are unable to get medical care. It's because of ignorance. I think some of them, not always just because of ignorance. Even when somebody sees the problem and tells them what to do, they don't have the money. So they prefer to believe the evil spirit one. And it's easier to go to a priest who will take 500 cedis to give you magical soap than to go and organize the surgery. So it's not always because people don't know. They do know in some cases, but it's just easier because of the poverty to look at alternatives which are cheaper because the money is still not available. So it's very interesting. Yeah, it's true. I've realized that this tends to be a problem in the developing countries, one. And even in the developing countries, you don't tend to see it in the upper middle income bracket at all. You tend to see it more with poor people. And I thought it had something to do with diet. But it's, as the gentleman I explaining, it's got a lot of things to do with access to medical care, access to rehabilitation. And that's interesting. So can I ask, why are young boys like you doing this? What's wrong with you? Why?
For me, the word "what's wrong with us?" Actually, there's nothing wrong with us, but we have the passion to do this, and we have the passion to do this. One, we are from a field that have trained us to go into this. The two of us, we graduated from the University of Science and Technology, Kenya University, with disability, BSc Disability and Rehabilitation Studies. So
Right.
you can get from our field, our studies, that we are somebody or we are people that are born into that kind of condition to take care of, being a disability and rehab student. Now, we are motivated from our field of studies too. We are also motivated because of when we see people going through a lot of difficulties, especially children with hydrocephalus. In around the world, we have organizations that are taking care or helping children with hydrocephalus. But it's saddening to know that our country, Ghana, do not have any organization taking care. And if you look at the procedure of treatment, the cost involved, and the people, the kind of people that are facing such challenges. And you look, children, some children are being abandoned on the streets. Some are even left on in the home, orphanage homes and others. No better care given to them. No better medical, policies that is, fitting them to have a very good access to treatment. So all these things came to us, and when we realized all this, then we decided to come up with this organization to able to, advocate and also create awareness about this condition. I believe somebody was talking of the spiritual, the evil spirit aspect. In Ghana or in the African continent, we believe in spiritual incantation than even the medical aspect. So everything we want to relate it towards spirit. And I tell you, as we started our journey, a lot of questions, a lot of people are telling us this condition is a spiritual condition. We have been to a lot of TV stations in Ghana. We have been to a lot of FM stations in Ghana. And anytime we go and do advocacy on this condition, you get people calling in to tell us that it's a spiritual condition. Pastors and the fetish priests and others, and even the society we come from also tell us that it's a spiritual condition. But from our field as rehab specialist or somebody from rehabilitation background, we believe that it's not a spiritual thing, but it's what? a medical. And because of our belief system, it also affected the treatment of this condition. So if somebody have a child with a condition, because he or she believes that the child is a river god or is under an influence of any demonic being or satanic being, therefore they seek to look for the fetish priest or a malam or whatever to, cure the child or even eliminate the child from the surface of the earth, which is not so. So we are touched by all these situations and all these things, and we decided to come out with this organization to advocate and change the perceptions of Ghanaians about this condition. One Ghanaians who believe that it's a medical condition, and therefore, if we take it from that angle, and a treatment is given to a child at a appropriate time, the child tends to also have a normal life to live than we seeing children with that big head in the society we find ourselves. So all these are part of our motivation of setting up such organization and picking up this. So this is the worries that
Okay. Mr. Paul, let me come to you. Nice boy. I
Come
think
again.
no, I was asking Mr. Pong. I want to ask him too. He's a nice boy. I mean, you could be a nice politician or go to work in a bank or something. Why is a nice boy wanting to do hydrocephalus?
Okay, thank you very much. I come from a society where I was made to believe that persons with hydrocephalus are cursed, because in my society, I have seen a family in which they all have big heads, such as those with hydrocephalus. So I asked my mom, why are these people all having big heads? And my mom told me they are cursed. And I was like, how come? So when I came to university and learning much about disability and rehabilitation, I was made to understand that there is not something attached to spiritual conditions or anything, but then it's something that actually develops from the womb, or if not from the womb, it's actually acquired. So I told myself, no, we have to do something. And Patrick went to a program at Accra. So they saw a woman with such a condition and they helped the woman. So Patrick came back and told me, James, this is what I've realized. So I told him, we can pick it up. Since it's not a spiritual condition, it's a medical condition. We also looked at the perceptions Ghanaians have about the condition. So we decided to do a little survey about the condition. So with that, we got to realize Ghanaians have bad perceptions. The perception is very, very intense to the extent that they don't even qualify it to be a medical condition. So we decided that we would take it up from there, and we actually developed the passion for it. If not a passion, I would have said we are lost already, but we have the passion for it. That's why we are in here advocating, supporting, and also creating awareness about hydrocephalus.
That's interesting. So I think you both come from very rich families and you have a lot of money that you want to use for charity, right?
That's a big no. That's a very big no. And bolded.
No.
You want to come and run a charity for people who suffer from hydrocephalus. You've already explained that the surgery is expensive, the rehabilitation is expensive. Of course, rich people are the ones who be doing this. Not so, boys. No?
Yeah.
No, you are not rich. So why are you doing a charity if you are not rich?
We believe in what we have than anything. We have the ideas.
Yeah.
We have the knowledge to push out there, but we don't have the funds. But I think knowledge is power than money. So when you have knowledge, you have everything. So therefore, that motivated us to come out to do this, even though we are not that too rich, and we are not even rich to venture into such charity work. There is one question that keeps coming to us. People see us to be rich, but we are not rich. Just that we are young boys born with passion, born with initiatives to do something for the society, to help our society also realize certain things that we are lacking, to also contribute to the society. That's what we are. And that's why we are motivated to push to go into such a venture. But we believe with the backing and the support of others, we will be able to achieve the objective of our organization. That is moving Ghana from the tertiary prevention of hydrocephalus to the primary prevention of hydrocephalus.
Okay, so you are not rich boys.
No, we are not.
You are running a charity and you are not rich boys. Okay, no problem. So, what's the plan? You need other people to support you. I heard that one. Who do you need to support you? How do they support you?
Okay, thank you. Aja, we don't have a defined people that we want them to support us. Our door is open. Come again.
You don't want rich people.
And I said, we don't have a defined people in a sense that everybody is welcome to support us. We believe that your $1, your $1 cedi, your 10 pesos, whatever it is you give is very worthy appreciated. So we don't have a defined people. So everybody is accepted or is welcome to support this initiative. And you can do that one through our bank accounts and then our mobile money account. They are all in the name of the organization. That's Recommence Foundation. So if you want to do, just hit us through our email, our social media handles, and then we get in touch. We talk from there.
Okay, so you mentioned some
and all
emails.
our social media handles goes with Recommence Foundation.
Do us a favor.
So our email is
Recommence Foundation, but what's the email address? Uh-oh. Now, I don't know if the problem is at my end or the problem is at their end. Can you guys hear me? Right, audience, I need your help. Can you hear the boys? Because I can't hear them. They seem frozen to me. And my network can be funny sometimes, so I don't know. Can you hear me? Yes, no. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just yes. Bobby, when you are ready to go to Ghana, let me know. I will help you hook up with them. And in fact, before you go to Ghana, they are boys who are doing a phenomenal thing with no money. I wanted to harp on that one. They are boys almost straight out of university. They are gone. Right, hopefully they will rejoin. But yeah, they are coming to us from Ghana. You know what happens with the network in Ghana. So when you interview people from Ghana, you expect that we'll be doing the in and out. And they are back. Hey, boys.
Hey, mommy. Yeah, sorry. You know, we are in Ghana.
I was explaining, and it's not a problem. So give me the email address for people to contact you with if they want.
So our email address is rickmessfoundation@gmail.com.
rickmessfoundation@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Check for me that what I have put on the screen is accurate. If it is not accurate, let me know so I can correct it. rickmessfoundation@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yes, please. Yeah, it's correct.
And it's your telephone number.
So telephone number 0549
002
344. Yeah, 344 000. Come again. Where are you now? Let me continue.
0549. Yes.
344
444
972.
972. All right. Is that the mobile money number as well?
No.
Okay. What's the mobile money number?
The mobile money number is 0558
558. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 0558 53
53
0558 53 11 11.
Yeah. 11 and 11.
And 35. That's that. No, 1135.
Okay, let me put that on the screen as well and check for me. So to contact you, the telephone number is that one. 00233
All right.
549 444 972. Is that correct? No, I think the voice are frozen again. Can you hear me, boys? Right. Hello. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
Is the number on the screen correct?
Yes, it's correct.
And this is the mobile money number. Is that also correct?
Yes, please.
Check for me. Somebody thinks it might be wrong. The contact number is 0549 444 972. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
correct.
it's very correct.
And the mobile money number is 055 853 1135.
Yes, it's correct. So the name for this number is Requiem Foundation. So if anybody is sending something, the name is Requiem Foundation. So if I send it something, check the name, Requiem Foundation.
Requiem Foundation. Okay. Oh, Nanaraba, God bless you. Nanaraba says that she will send her widow's mite one of these days. That would be great. Because listen, one of the reasons why I never went down to start a charitable organization was that I always had the perception that that was for rich people, for people who had money to start organizations because they had money and they didn't have anything to do with the money. So they did foundations. And I had a few good ideas, but I didn't have money. So obviously, foundations are not for me. But what you are actually saying today is that it makes sense for poor people like me to start foundations and to ask other people to support you to run what it is you want to do. And that's good.
Exactly.
Ask you, when we send you the money, would you be sending it to your girlfriends or what would you be using the money for?
Okay. As you can see, I'm single. He's also single.
No,
we have plans. Patrick has his plans. I have my plans, and our plan is to set up this foundation not only in Ghana but also in neighboring countries around Ghana. So, with our plans and what we want to set, and we are not ready to have girlfriends, as you said. We are not taking the money to our girlfriends, but we, with the passion, we want to take this money and help persons living with hydrocephalus and their caregivers. That's our main passion for the money. We've received monies for people, and we've used it for a very great things that we can actually, or achievement that we can actually boast of, such as a surgery we just conducted for a person living with hydrocephalus. So I want to encourage and ensure donors that their monies wouldn't be used for personal reasons, but as said, to be used for the reasons why their monies were sent. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's go to a little bit. You mentioned surgery. So what's the plan? How many people are you targeting to work with in the foundation? Do you already have a target audience already? And if you have a target audience, what intervention have you got planned for them? Let's look at your plans for the next 6 months. What's the plan?
Okay. The next 6 months, our first plan is we have forward to, help them with the surgeries. So far, with the 8, we are able to conduct one. We are able to conduct one surgery. That was last 3 weeks that the surgery was conducted at the Confanotti Teaching Hospital, and it was a very successful surgery. The client was discharged from the hospital last week or this week. Yeah, last week. The client was discharged last week. Now we have 7 of the cases that we are looking up to that in this by the close of this year. If by God's grace we are able to get some funds, we were able to execute those surgeries. Now the next activity is the World Hydrocephalus Day that we are looking up to, which is coming on the October 25th, 25th October.
Okay.
And that's the next activity. Then from there we have some researches to do and some workshops to do. And then last 3 weeks, I was in a meeting with the at the Ministry of Health, and we had a meeting with Dr. For who are researches, of which we are preparing to undergo those researches to get database of persons living with hydrocephalus in Ghana, the prevalences of hydrocephalus in Ghana, the life expectancies of persons living with hydrocephalus in Ghana. Then we also will have a workshop with the nurses and the midwifery trainees in Ghana as well, of the practitioners. So we know is this condition is a very critical condition. Therefore, assist conditions. So within this, these are some of the activities that we'll be doing: workshop for nursing and midwifery personnel, and then also go to do some surgeries to some researches to add up with the knowledge about hydrocephalus in Ghana.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. I get it. I see where the money is going towards. But how much does it cost, one of these surgeries?
Okay, thank you very much. For a surgery to be conducted totally, approximately we are looking at 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay, so for the 7 cases, we'll be looking at around 70,000 Ghana. And
exactly.
The rehabilitation. So I think 100,000 might be a reasonable amount to aim for, right?
Exactly, and that's our estimated budget for the surgery. That's 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay, so I'm talking to, there are 33 people watching at the moment. There'll be a few more to come watch when we're done. Who are you actually also asking? Do you have any donor agencies and organizations that you are bidding for funds from?
No.
Okay.
We don't have.
I thought so. So this is where those of you who live in different places actually do come in. Because some of you live in communities where they have pockets of funds available for charitable organizations like this. This is the novelty we are all familiar with. We've seen in our community. There is absolutely no intervention work happening in Ghana. I know there's noise. Don't worry, it happens. No problem. But I'm asking those of you, especially those of you in the United Kingdom, definitely do know that there are pockets of funding available for people to look into and to bid for. I'm asking those of you in different countries to look in your various countries and see what could be bid for in those countries. And if you are able to bid for the funds, win it and send it, great. If you are not able to do so and you could direct the boys to where the funds are and how they could apply for the funds, that would be very good as well. And obviously, if you have $10, $5, $50, whatever, and you would generously send to their mobile money account, that would also be gratefully received. But even more importantly, what the boys would need is your expertise and your guidance. So a lot of you have skills in bid writing. Some of you need to donate some of those skills to this organization to help them set up and to run effectively. Some of you are able to go and help with the outreach. Please do reach out to the boys. Have a think. Ask yourself what you could do to support the organization, because what they are actually doing is very, very good. It is one that should have been thought about a long time ago, and I am delighted that the boys have decided to do this. Can I ask a little bit about your organization, boys? Do you have any other volunteers, or is it just the two of you for now?
Okay, thank you very much. We have 8 executives on board, and we also have 1 volunteer also on board. Other executives they are in Kumasi, but they were not able to join the interview. Others are also watching, so yeah.
Some of the pictures.
Oh, I don't know. Mentally muted myself. I was asking about how can I be a volunteer? How volunteer? Is it possible for me to be a volunteer? And if it's possible for me to be a volunteer, how do I volunteer? Who do I contact and what can I do?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's possible. In fact, we need volunteers all over the world. I think some months ago we put in to request for volunteers from Giving Way International or Giving Way that we need volunteers to come on board to support. Volunteers in any field, being a medical, social worker, or whatever it is, you are welcome. You can be a volunteer. When you contact us through our email, we give you a form, then you fill based on with your particulars and you forwarded them back to us. If you are to come to Ghana and to assist us, then we take it up from there. If you are to volunteer from there to, then we, based on the negotiation or based on discussion, then we know how to, but there is a room for volunteering.
Okay, so that clarifies the can we volunteer. Boys, I want to give you 5 minutes when I am not interrupting, and I want you to talk to people about why they should volunteer, how they can contribute, what difference it will make to the lives of the people you are looking to support. Basically, 5 minutes of pitching to those watching you about your organization, about calling them to come join you and to support you and what they can do. So down to you at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. When the volunteering, we want people like doctors to come and assist the doctors here to do the surgery because neurosurgeons are very scarce in Ghana as well. So we need more neurosurgeons to come on board to support us to do this surgery. Again, we need people out there. If you're out there and you want to volunteer, you can also assist us with your knowledge on how we should go about our activities. You can also assist us through our research work that we'll be doing. You can also assist us by also connecting us to some organizations that have interest in what we are doing to also come on board to support us in terms of cash, in terms of any idea that might that would be of good help to make this organization be of what we want it to be. We also, if you also want to come down here in Ghana, we do a lot of community outreach, going to the community, identifying persons who are living with a condition, and also supporting parents with child with such condition who are living in abject poverty. So we go to the villages to visit them. So you can also come down, go with us to the village to visit them, to send your words of motivation to them, make them understand that they are not alone, but they have a backbone that's also there for them. And again, yeah, these are some of the activities that as a volunteer you will be able to engage in when you come on board to support.
What you have on the screen is the actual surgery which happened some days ago, right?
Yes.
This, yeah, you wonder where I got it from, right? I have done my homework. I know it's a bit of a surprise. So how old is the boy?
This boy is 9 months old.
Wow. And
yeah,
when did you notice the problem?
Come again?
When was the problem diagnosed? At what age was it diagnosed?
It was diagnosed when the mother was pregnant. It was diagnosed in the womb when she took the ultra scan, and it was diagnosed that the child is suffering from this condition. So the mother did CS during the laboring period. So that's it. And I think we identified this child when he was 2 months old, 2 months, yeah. And then because of fun, we pull, and then Eventually, we got certain fund to support the surgery, and it was conducted. That was last 3 weeks that the surgery was conducted at Comfort Teaching Hospital.
I think he's a very lucky boy that it was actually called so early. And it is phenomenal that we actually have this conversation now in our community about these interventions, because it's not something we do traditionally. Absolutely. And Araba, they've done a phenomenal job. I think what they've done is also shown, they've shown the light on what a lot of us refuse to see, in the sense that many of us still thought that you need rich people to be able to do things. Right. So if you've not been motivated, then you're probably still not human. I clearly have been motivated. I Okay, boys. Right. What I want to do next. So a lot of people have understood what it is. All right, apologies for that, where the feedback was coming from. So
Okay.
I think it's better now. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Right. I like what you're doing. I would like to thank you on behalf of everybody for being so visionary. Oh, Auntie Shirley, I am so proud of them. It's amazing to see that we are beginning to rise above some of the obstacles that we created for ourselves, the things that stopped us from daring to dream and to do wonderful things. You said something about World Hydrocephalus Day. What is that? What is going to happen then?
Okay, thank you very much. World Hydrocephalus Day is a day that has been set aside. In fact, that day came about when the International Federation of Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus met somewhere 2011, and they came out with this day that they want to use the day to celebrate and remember children and persons living with this condition. So they started celebrating the day on 2012, October 25th. That's when they start to celebrate that day. But since then, Ghana has never celebrated this day before, because there is nobody to pick up such initiative to do it. So we have decided to this time around to start to do, and then to also celebrate this day, which is this year. So we have activities starting from 1st of October, and then we climax it on the 26th of October. The reason why we are doing our climax on the 26th of October, because we want to do a Debra, and 25th of October is on Sunday, of which is not appropriate to have a Debra. So we decided to push it back out to 26th of October. Now we are going with the theme, change your perception. Hydrocephalus is a medical condition. And this is because even though Ghana is doing a lot in the medical aspect and then with the rehabilitation aspect, helping persons living with such conditions, but as because of their perception, it's affecting the treatment of this condition. Therefore, we decided to go by this thing so that we create more awareness. We educate Ghanaians about the condition, that they should change their perception towards persons living with such condition and come to believe that it is a medical condition. Therefore, a medical attention and treatment is needed on that. So on the 1st, we will launch the program on our famous TV station, that's UTV. Then from there, every single day or every other day, there's going to be an interview in some of the FM stations and TV stations in Ghana. And then we'll also be posting out interviews of persons living with the condition, and interviews that we will be having interviews with Ghanaians, their perceptions about the condition. So every other day, we'll be posting those interviews on our social media handles and our YouTube channels. And I'll be very happy if, Mommy, you get some of our interviews and also post it on your platform so that people that following you can also know what we are doing and what the Ghanaians' perception about the condition. You also have interviews with some of the persons living with the condition as well, and parents with children with such condition. There's also going to be interviews with some dignitaries. So we are looking at getting the Minister for Health and the Minister for Gender also to engage in the interview as well, and then the neurosurgeons at Confanoche also will be interviewed. So they will also be giving more light onto the condition for us, so that we will be more abreast with the condition. So these are some of the activities that will take place during this day. And so that's for the World Hydrocephalus that we are going to. And then on the 26th, we do a climax at the Hope Exchange Medical Center, one of our partner institutions that we conduct surgeries, and all clinics are being taken there. So that's where the climax is going to be taking place. And because of the COVID, we are not, looking at getting the mass people, so we are just looking about 50 to 100 people to be present for us to climax the day, and it's the first of its kind. So we don't want to do anything so huge. So there's not going to be any walk, there's not going to be any floats, and we know we are in COVID era, so it's not advisable for us to do those things. So this is how the program for the World Hydrocephalus Day is going to be. Yes, so we open arms for people to come on board to also assist us to make this day the best of it all in Ghana. And through that, we will launch our organization as well.
It sounds good. I was going to ask you, you've mentioned something about one of the partners, which is fine. But are there other partners? Are you collaborating with other people in the build-up to this?
Exactly. I forgot this, one of our dear collaborator. In fact, this organization have been contribute effectively for our work. That is NCVO, the National Consortium for Volunteers Organization. This organization is doing a very massive work for young organizations in Ghana, NGOs in Ghana. In fact, ever since we became a member of this organization, I would say this organization has really, really contributed to our work in terms of ideas, directions, and I believe it's good advices we get from the NCVO that we're able to go to this end that we are right now. And even this World Hydrocephalus Day is becoming possible for us to celebrate it. As you said, we don't have nothing, but with the strong people that we have behind us, we are able to, make it, and our visions and our objectives are able to be achieved. So that's one. And then another collaborators is the National Council on Persons with Disability. This is an agency of the Ministry of Gender. So the National Council on Persons with Disability is an agency in the Ministry of Gender. So we are also collaborating with this organization or this agency to also celebrate this day. Another collaborator is the surgical department of Confanote Teaching Hospital. They are also part of our collaborators. So we have these collaborators to have the program, and then our partner, that's Hope Exchange Medical Center, and then Jinyame Mobile Clinic. So these are our partners to do this.
Right. So Hope has asked a very important question. How do you select the children who get surgery? How do you select them? How do you decide who's going first?
Okay, thank you very much. We have links with most of the hospitals. We have links with most of the hospitals. So at times you'll be there and a doctor will call you from a hospital that there has been a delivery of a child with a condition, and we want you to come on board to support. And because we do a lot of advocacies and medication on the TV stations and FM stations, we put our numbers out. So some people will pick the number and will be there, and somebody will call you that we have a child with such a condition. I had your number. I listened to maybe GH1 or TB3, and I had your number, and then we are calling you to see if we can help. Recently, we had a call from Nkoko, and the woman said, I think a pastor gave my number to her to call us. And the pastor too, I think he follows me on my Facebook channel. So he gets my number from my Facebook channel and gave it to the woman, and the woman reached me. Yeah, so these are some of the ways that we get people that we support them.
That's amazing. Amazing.
I'm looking at who gets the surgery first.
Yes.
Since we have the collaborating doctors, that's Hope Exchange and also no surgeons from Confanoche, we are able to diagnose the child or all the children and to know who is supposed to conduct the surgery. So upon the intensity of the condition, the neurosurgeons will say you can conduct this for this child or for the other child. So that's how come we're able to select which child is first to conduct or who is to conduct the surgery first.
So it's mainly to do with medical evaluations and not because you like the children better.
No. It's based on the medical diagnosis made by the doctors, and they will make us understand who is supposed to conduct the surgery first.
Fair enough. Right, guys, I hope everybody's question has been answered. But I wanted to bring the boys on. They are getting ready for World Hydrocephalus Day. They are also looking to raise about 100,000 or more so they can help more children to receive surgical intervention. Obviously, they are looking for volunteers. They are looking for donors. They are looking for every assistance you can give them, including sharing the video, because when you share the video, you might help connect them with a donor. You never know who's watching. You never know who can help. So if you can do nothing at all to help the boys, put the video on your personal Facebook feed, share the video to your contacts, put it on your groups so more people can see the conversation we've had and can see their contact numbers and can get in touch with them. Let me remind you again how to contact the boys. The first thing to do is to email rakemesfoundation@gmail.com. We can get their contact numbers and mobile money details from there. If you want to ring them, you can contact them on this number on the screen at the moment. And if you want to send them some donations, this is the mobile money in the name of Rakemess Foundation. And they would receive it to support what it is that they do. Auntie Shirley, it's an absolute pleasure to have the boys. They've had to wait a little bit for me to move and to settle down before they could come. But yeah, it's been wonderful to have you boys. And can I thank you again, sincerely? It's amazing to see people like you do what you do. And I hope that it is inspiration for many more people like you who have not got to the age most people expect charity to begin, to actually realize that charity can begin at any time and it can be impactful even in your youth without the money. That's the lesson I've learned today. Do you have any final words for us before we go?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank God for this day. I think we have also been blessed to have you. We never thought we could get to this far, and I thank God for that. And again, I want to thank you very much for hosting us this evening. I think we are very fortunate because not all people who get this opportunity to be hosted on your show. And anybody that gets that opportunity, then I think is not divine, and the person is of higher rank. Not we that we are nobody to be hosted on your show. And then we bless God for this day. And God bless you too. We also thank Auntie Sherry, who has always been supporting us. She has always been supporting us, advising us, directing us in everything that we do. And we say God bless her very much in everything that she's doing. She's doing to help the world.
She's amazing.
She's a very amazing woman. She's really very amazing woman. And Auntie Sherry, God bless you. God bless you very much.
And you too, amazing. Promise me that over the next 4 weeks or so, you will come back and you will update us of the progress of the surgery you did. If you get footage of how the child is doing, and if it's possible to share some with us, please do. Um, if you have a campaign going on and you want people's attention, send me what you want me to put out there, and I would love to put it out there to support you. Auntie Shirley, it's a pleasure. Bless you and thank you so much. And guys, join me in thanking these amazing boys. And you give me hope for our country. You really do. That it might just be okay in the end. When you have a few people beginning to arouse to the task and looking beyond themselves and looking at greater good in our community, then you can see some hope. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much to those of you who shared. God bless you and catch you soon. Good night.
Bye-bye.